Because when I come back to you, I wanted to bring you a story that I found really, really interesting. Now, this information is older, but it's prophetic. It's kind of a prophetic warning of what we see occurring right now. Now, what I'm going to play you is a clip from the Mark Levin show back from 2014. He's playing a clip from a man named Dick or Richard Lamb, the former governor of the state of Colorado, from 1975 to, I believe, 1987. So the man served 3 consecutive terms there. And he was a Democrat at that time. Now, he later became a member of the Reform Party and actually ran for president, and was beaten out on the third party ticket by Rothborough back in 1996. But this man, he saw what was happening, and he agreed. The immigration and several other factors that is happening within the Democratic Party right now would take down this country, would destroy it. And in the clip I'm gonna play for you is from the Mark Levin show back in 2014. But the clip, the audio clip, is actually from October of 2003. And Dick Lamb is getting ready to introduce Victor David Hanson. Now, I think a majority of us know who that is. I'm an absolute scholar. But this man, Victor David Hanson, wrote the book called Mexifornia. And that came out back in 2003. And Dick Lamb is introducing him. But Dick Lamb talks about the plan to overtake this country and destroy the country from the inside out. Because, listen.
I want you to hear, not me reading what Dick Lamb said in October 2003, but I want you to hear what Dick Lamb himself said. I really want you to listen to this. Turn up the volume. And here you have a former governor who really, really gets it. Again, a liberal Democrat. And he calls it my plan to destroy America. My plan to destroy America. And a hat tip to our partner who provided this to me, and this has never been played before. Cut one, go.
I would like to share with you my plan to destroy America. If you think, and some do, that America is too smug, too rich, too self-satisfied, not diverse enough, too white bread, I have this plan. Toynbee, said that all great nations rise and they all fall. And he said, and the autopsy of history is all great nations commit suicide. So here's my plan, 8 parts. Number 1, I'd make it a bilingual, bicultural country. History shows us that no bilingual, bicultural country lives at peace with itself. There's not one, I believe, that doesn't exist with an incredible amount of tension and conflict, if not civil war. My second part of my plan would be to invent something called multiculturalism. This would be 2 parts. Number 1, I would say that all cultures are created equal. It would make no difference and make it impossible to talk about such things as culture. And the second one is that I would really try very hard to make people continue their cultural identity. I would replace the melting pot with the salad bowl. My third part of my plan would be to make the fastest growing demographic group in that country the least educated. I would add a second underclass to the first underclass, unassimilated, undereducated, antagonistic, and then I'd have 50% of them drop out of school, not graduate from high school. The fourth part of my plan would be to get the big foundations to fund, and big business to fund these efforts with lots of money. I would invest in ethnic identity and victimology. I would get them to think about their lack of success was only the fault of the majority. I would start a grievance industry. The fifth part of my plan is I would develop dual citizenship. I would promise people actually divided loyalties, allow them to vote for both Vicente Fox and George Bush. The sixth part, and this is important, I would place all of these subjects off limits. I would make it taboo to talk about, actually, or criticize this whole thing. I would make it come up with a word like heretic used to be 200 years ago. Let's say we'd call it racist. And I would try to accuse anybody of this that would object to my ideas. My seventh part, then, I would make it impossible to enforce our immigration laws. I would develop a mantra, let's call it this, that because immigration has been good in the past for America, it will continue to be good in the future. My eighth and last part, and it's important, is I would censor this book. This man is dangerous. He's on to my plan. Don't read this book.
And he's pointing to our friend Victor Davis Hanson in his book, Mexifornia.
I wanted to read you guys a article from the Henry Etten. The year was 2003. The plan to destroy America, and it's all on record. And it definitely is. The plan to destroy America from within. Let me scroll down here. Now I'm going to go over the 8 points. The 8 points that Dick Lamb was making. Here we go. First, make the nation bilingual and bicultural. History shows that shows that no country divided by language and culture can live peacefully with itself. Yet, rather than encouraging assimilation, we now glorify division. The melting pot has been replaced by the salad bowl, a metaphor for separation rather than unity. Second, invent multiculturalism and enforce it through social shaming. Claim that all cultures are created equal, and it's wrong to suggest otherwise. Yeah. By promoting permanent identity politics, citizens would stop seeing themselves as Americans first and instead members of competing groups. Third, let the fastest growing demographic also be the least educated, build an underclass dependent on government and the loyal to the hand that feeds it. Fourth, fund the grievous industry. Use foundations, media, and academia to amplify victimhood and resentment until unity becomes impossible. Fifth, encourage dual citizenship. Divide loyalties that erode the very idea of one nation under one flag. Sixth, make dissent taboo. Anyone questioning the plan should be branded a racist, a xenophobe, or extremist. And again, it's happening right now. Seventh, refuse to enforce immigration law. Pretend that because immigration worked in the past, it must always work, no matter how uncontrolled it becomes. Again, guys, we have got to remember, the people that built this country, the founders, they came to build, and they did build. They made this a great country. And the people that are coming here now, they're sneaking into the country, and they're living off the very system that we set up. And finally, censor anyone who exposes the scheme. Yeah. That whole thing was good, and it's true. That is what is happening right now in this country. Again, we have people being imported into the country. Again, the least educated demographic in the country. They're being imported. And again, they hate us, they hate the country. Again, they are dividing things. They're not assimilating. They're dividing the very fabric of this country. And again, we can't live with each other. We can't. Not this way. Not this way. Again, if you want to assimilate, but they don't want to. They want to have their own culture. And again, that's what we got to have in this country, apparently. No, wrong. It is going to tear this country totally apart. And funding victim groups. I mean, again, we see that happening right now. George Soros, Black Lives Matter. I mean, we see what's happening. Antifa, we see what's happening. We understand what's happening. If you're willing to open your eyes and look at it. Again, this country is being torn apart from the inside out. And if you have any criticism of what's happening, you're racist. You're a racist. You don't like black people. You don't like brown people. Again, you don't like the country if you have criticism of what they're doing. And again, you do. You actually love the country. You love the country. It's something we got to remember. For those of you that are Christian, they will know you by your fruits. You will know them by their fruits. And again, those that build, those that are of God, those that are listening to God, they build. They make things better. They don't destroy. They do not destroy. And that's exactly what we're seeing from certain demographic groups. And again, they hate us. They hate us. And yes, I'm talking about 13% of the population. 13% commit the majority of violent crime in the country. And they hate us. I'm not talking about all of them, but I'm talking about a lot. And the ones that produce, and the ones that, again, go to work, do what they got to do, and make the country better, make their families better, I'm not talking about them. Again, there is not a racist bone in my body. I don't care about that. But what I care about is this country being built the right way, being taken care of. And we get to understand, back in 2003, they hit the nail on the head with this. But if you guys would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Thanks.